الحمد لله الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير حج محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, this morning, by the permission of Allah Jalla wa Ala, we like to do something by the permission of Allah that's a little bit what we would say ilmiya, educational, so to speak, just to go back to the basics a little bit, and that is to deal with Kitab al-Salam. In the book Riyadh Salihin, which is the Garden of the Righteous, you will find a chapter in there that is known as the Book of Salutations. And unfortunately, especially in this day of time, it's not a given just because you have accepted your Shahada or just because you have become Muslim that you know how to properly convey the Islamic greetings. We cannot take that as a given. That's something that is granted, that's taken for granted. Most people think just because someone's been Muslim, no matter how many years, if they did not learn or take the time out to understand the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal and have not been granted the success or the tawfiq, then they do not know how to properly convey the Islamic greetings. Also, we find out many people, what they also have a problem with doing is that they exchange the Islamic greetings for greetings that we exchange the Islamic greetings for greetings by the permission of Allah Jalla wa Ala. Alright? Also what they do is that they leave it for is just exchanging for something else. In other words, they will use a customary or cultural greeting in place of the Islamic greetings. And the reason why is because it's lack of knowledge. They're not understanding the importance or the virtue in the fadl, in the superiority of actually saying the Islamic greetings. Nor do they understand the obligation in saying the Islamic greetings. So what they do is they exchange them for cultural greetings versus the greetings that people should be saying. So hopefully with this chapter, as we do different talks on it, inshallah ta'ala, with the explanation of Shaykh Taymin, rahmatullah ta'ala, we will begin to understand the importance and the virtues of saying the Islamic greetings and why it's important to actually say it versus saying the customary greetings. And even though customary greetings may or may not be permissible, you still do not want them to take the place of saying the Islamic greetings. Tayyib. Ibn Nawawi, is from his custom, normally what he do when he gather a hadith such as this, he will put a title and then he will put his proofs and evidence based off what the title is. So since this is called Kitab al-Salam, the first chapter that comes in this section is the virtue of the salams and the command for spreading it. Okay, so now he's going to give us the verses in the ahadith that show us the obligation of spreading the Islam. The first verse that he mentioned is in Surah An-Nur, which is Surah 24, verse 27. Surah 24, verse 27. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تدخلوا بيوتا غير بيوتكم حتى تستأنسوا وتسلموا على أهلها. And that's the shahid of this verse. O you who believe, do not enter homes other than your homes. In other words, do not enter homes that are not your homes until permission has been granted. Until permission has been given to you, meaning until you have sought permission to enter those homes of which are not your property. وَتُسَلِّمُوا عَلَىٰ أَهْلِهَا. And then Allah says, extend the salutation, the Islamic greeting that is, to the people of that residence, to the residents of that home. Extend you the salutation. ذَلِكُمْ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ. Allah said that is better for you, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ, so that you may remember. Alright, Allah also says in another verse, which is a long, extensive verse, which is the verse 61 in Surah An-Nur, which is the 24th chapter. He also says, and we're just going to bring the part of That's the shahid of the verse. You can refer back. I gave you the reference. You can look back. He says, فَإِذَا دَخَلْتُمْ بُيُوتًا فَسَلِّمُوا عَلَى أَنفُسِكُمْ تَحِيَّةً مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ مُبَارَكًا طَيِّبًا. So when you enter the homes, these houses, then فَسَلِّمُوا, extend the Islamic salutations, extend the Islamic greetings, عَلَى أَنفُسِكُمْ, among yourselves. Right? Also, tahiyyatan min indillah, as a greeting from Allah. This is a greeting that you what? That Allah Azza wa Jal have instructed the believers, such as our father Adam alayhi salam, as there are hadith is authenticated that the greetings that Adam alayhi salam was taught was to say assalamu alaikum. All right. Also, we know that the greetings of the people in paradise, and there are ayats on that as well, that know that Salaam Alaikum is one, and there's a command in the Quran. So Allah says, as Mubarakan Tayyiban, something that is blessed and that is wholesome and is good. كَذَلِكَ يُبَيْنَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ آيَاتِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. Thus does Allah clarify to you that his ayats, so that what? So that you can be a people who have what? Of aql, understanding. Tayyib. The next verse he brings is the verse in Surah 2. The next verse he brings the verses in Surah An-Nisa, the 4th chapter of the Quran, and this is a tremendous verse, and this verse is the 86th verse in Surah An-Nisa. وَإِذَا حُيِّتُمْ بِتَحَيَّةٍ فَحَيُّوا بِأَحْسَنَ مِنْهَا أَوْ رُدُّوهَا. Okay, Allah Jalla wa Ala says in this verse, when حُيِّتُمْ بِتَحَيَّةٍ, when you are extending the Islamic salutations, okay, when you're giving the Islamic greetings, then give the best thereof, okay? So that you know the best thereof is saying like Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. That's the best thereof. When you initiate the Islamic greetings, give the best thereof. And then Allah says, Aw rudduha, or return something that is equal to. Okay? Someone come to you, say Assalamu alaikum, you can say Wa alaikum salam. If someone comes to you, say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, you can say Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. If they say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to you and you say Wa alaikum salam, that would not be in conformity to this verse. You have not replied equal to. You actually shortchanged it a little bit. So you want to make sure you say, if they say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, you want to say Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah to them. Remember, the rule of thumb is that what? The hadith said it is a what? It is obligatory to return the salams, not to initiate them. It is a fadl, a virtue to initiate the salams, but it's not obligatory to initiate the salams, but it's obligatory to to return the salutation when it is given to you. Tayyib. That becomes clear. Alright? The next verse that he mentioned is the verse that comes in Surah Al-Dhariyat, which is Surah 51, verses 24 to 25. Allah says, Hal ataka hadithu dayfi Ibrahim al-Muqramin. Have the news reach you about the guests of Ibrahim, the honored guests of Ibrahim, meaning the angels. إِذْ دَخَلُوا عَلَيْهِ, when they enter amongst him, فَقَالُوا سَلَامًا, they said salam. When they enter upon him, they said salam. قَالَ سَلَامُ قَوْمٌ مُنْكَرُونَ, and he responded to them, salam, for rather you are honored guests. Tayyib. Shaykh Uthaymeen rahmatullah ta'ala alayh, he mentions that يريد به تحية التي شرعها النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لأمته. He says, when the author had mentioned Kitab al-Salam, what is understood from this, or what is the objectives from this, is the greetings which has been legislated by the Prophet ﷺ for his ummah. Salam, now I want you to pay attention. This is the part that I really want you to pay attention to. Because we have been Muslim and practicing Islam, but we have to practice Islam ala ilm. Alright? You have to practice Islam upon knowledge. This is something that should be taught to every shahada. Every shahada should have to know that you worship your creator upon knowledge. You follow your religion upon knowledge. One should not be left blindly to move about. Alright? And this is some of the big mistakes that we make. Because we move in a certain way that we think how we feel, how we have an opinion and so forth, is how it's supposed to work. No, work with some knowledge here. Why do you say the greetings? What do Assalamu alaikum means? Have you really thought about that? What do it really means? What do Assalamu alaikum mean? One of the names of Allah Azza wa Jalla is As-Salam. Right? The one who is the grantor of security, the grantor of that peace. As-Salam. What is the name? Right? He says, بمعنى الدعاء بالسلامة من كل أذى. الدعاء بالسلامة من كل أذى. All right? Do you understand this? Meaning, it means that it is a supplication. First and foremost, it's just not a greeting. You are offering dua. You are making a supplication. بِسَلَامَةٍ مِّن كُلِّ أَفَى, meaning from safety and protection from every harm, from every nuisance, from everything that can cause a problem. This becomes deep now. When you see your brother, when you see your sister, when you see your friend, when you see your parents or your relative, and you say Assalamu alaikum, you are offering a dua. You are saying, oh Allah, Assalam, the grantor of security, protect them from every harm. You see? If you really thought about it this way, would you be stingy with your salams? Would you want to fight and harm another person that you are making dua for? If you really thought about what salams is, sometimes we say it's so lackadaisical, which shows us that we don't really understand the virtue of the salams. We had an athar that reaches a report that Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhuma, that he would just go to the marketplaces just to extend the salams. He would just go to the marketplace, not to buy anything, not to purchase anything, just to go see the merchants. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. That is a reward. As it comes in the beautiful hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, he says that what? Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Hada ashar. That's 10 hasanats. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. He said, Assalamu alaikum. Hada ashar. That's 10 hasanat. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Hada ishrun. That's 20 hasanat. Wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. He said, Hada thalathin. That is 30 hasanat. So every time you're saying Assalamu alaikum, not only are you offering a dua, but you are getting a reward. Now it does not, this shows you right here from intellect, that saying a customary greeting, a cultural greeting. What's going on, dog? What's up, dog? How you feeling, homie? Saying a custom and cultural greeting does not even carry the same weight. There's no reward that is even enormous that you get. Number one, you're not making dua, right? Number two, you're not even getting any hasanat for saying it. And number three, the words that we use as a greeting can be derogatory at best. It can be demeaning at best. So you're walking around calling another person a dog. There's a human being and then there's a dog. Why is a human being a dog? First of all, the human being is superior than the dog. We don't think about this. You might say, brother, you're going too technical. That don't mean it. No, but you have to start realizing words in their implications and what they mean. You understand? Because this is how people are going to treat you. This is why the Prophet ﷺ, what did he say? One of the rights of giving to the child is that what? That the child, the rights that the child have upon the parents is that they give him a good name. Do you understand that? That they give the child, whether it's a boy or a female, a good name, a wholesome name. You understand? That's the right of the child. Give them a good name. Don't give them a name that's derogatory, this and that. Give them something they can be proud of, something that can what? It means something. All of this carries implications. He says, فَإِذَا قُلْتَ لِلشَّخْصِ, if you say to a person, Assalamu alayka fahada ya'ni annaka tad'u lahu bi anna Allah yusallimuhu min kulli afa. He's saying what you're actually saying in reality to that person is that you're offering dua for him that Allah will protect him from every harm. Yusallimuhu min al-marad, that Allah will protect him from illnesses. Yusallimuhu min al-junoon, that Allah will protect him from insanity. Look at this. I see my brother. This is why that which accompanies, or that which is, my English ain't that real good, but that which accompany the salams should be ibtisam. It should be the smiling. Because if you understood what you're saying, the dua that you're saying, you're going to smile to your brother and sister, not just to the sister. Not the brother smiling to the sister smiling to the brother. No, you're going to smile to anyone that you give the salams. Why? Because you're making dua. Look at the dua you're making. You're asking Allah to protect them from every harm. What could be a harm? Sickness, illness. So you don't want them to get cancer. You don't want to get different types of illnesses. You don't want to get the new virus that's moving around. You don't want to get none of that. This salams incorporates all of that. So you're going to smile to your brother and sister. You're going to give what? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Why? Because you're asking Allah to protect them from every illnesses. You're asking Allah to protect them from insanity, losing their raka. يُسَلِّمُهُ مِنْ شَرِّ النَّاسِ You're asking Allah to protect them from the evil of the people. يُسَلِّمُهُ مِنَ الْمَعَاصِي وَأَمْرَاضِ الْقُلُوبِ You're asking Allah to protect them from sins and disobedience and from the sickness and the illnesses of the heart. يُسَلِّمُهُ مِنَ النَّارِ You're asking Allah to protect them. You're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect them from the fire. فَهُوَ لَفْظٌ عَامٌ Faradi is a very general wording. معناه الدعاء للمسلم عليه بالسلامة من كل آفة. Okay? A supplication for every Muslim is that you are sustaining the salam upon him, that you protect them from every harm. Look how deep that just went. The salams don't even mean the same no more, do they? When you understand what the salams mean, it don't even mean the same no more. Look at all of this dua you making, then you turn around, you want to put a bullet in somebody's head. You turn around, you want to fight this person or stab this person or want to hurt this person. You backbite this person, you take this person down. Look at the weirdness of this, man. Do you understand this? What is the point of you saying this dua? You don't even know what you're saying for somebody and you don't like that person. I can't stand that person. But you're asking for all of this stuff to be protected from the person, but yet it's a contradiction and you don't understand it. This is why it's not, you see individuals, when they give the salutations, they give it, they don't want to raise their voice. They don't want to smile. You see them being stingy. They want to greet only those whom they know. As the Messenger of Allah said, "Min alamat as-sa'a," from the signs of the hours that a person is going to greet who? A person is only going to greet those whom they know. They're going to what they call gang size Islam now. We're going to make it seem like only my clique who are Muslims, we're going to make this personal for us, and we're going to exclude the salams for other people. Waliyadu billah. Don't understand nothing about the salams. People are stingy when it comes to getting reward. They would rather abbreviate the salams. You'll see a brother talk about AS. Subhanallah azim. I want to abbreviate the salams. Why you want to cheat yourself of that? There's no reward of writing AS. You can't find one evidence that you write AS, or if you write ASWR, whatever the initials is, there is no reward for writing it. Do you understand? It is being stingy with the salams. It shows that what? You are bukhl. You're someone who is a miser. You are stingy in giving the greetings. You don't even want to make dua for the next person. You want to say as-salam. That's what people want to do because they want to modernize Islam. They wanted to fit their version of what it should be. As if Allah Jalla wa'ala didn't say in the Quran that he told Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, had the heavens and the earth been under them, have you would have followed them, the heavens and the earth would have been ruined because their desires would have caused them to bring it down. So here's a group of people who come in alone, they want to do it their way. No, I hear the Salaf did it that way. I know the companions did it that way. I know the Prophet ﷺ did it that way. But no, I want to do it this way. This is the way I want to do it. Why? Because I'm in the 21st century. I want to get fit in. I want to be this. وَلَن تَرَضَى عَنْكَ الْيَهُودُ وَلَن نَصَارَ حَتَّى تَتَّبِعَ مِلَّتَهُمْ Understand the plot. Allah said, "O Muhammad, they will never be pleased with you, and neither the Jews nor the Christians until you follow their way." Understand their plot. Do you understand? So you want to sit there, I want to fit in. Now I'm going to say, I'm going to abbreviate the salams. No, I'm going to be stingy. Waliyadu billah. No, grid the salams. Let the people hear it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Let the people hear the salams. Let them hear it. Don't be stingy with the salams. He said, وَكَانَ الصَّحَابَةُ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُمْ مِنْ مُحَبَّتِهِمْ لِلَّهِ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ كَانُوا يَقُولُونَ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ السَّلَامُ عَلَى اللَّهِ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ السَّلَامُ عَلى جبريل السَّلَامُ عَلى فُلَانٍ وَفُلَانٍ فَنَهَاهُمُ النَّبِيُّ صلى الله عليه وسلم أن يقول. Pay attention now. The companions, ridwanullah ta'ala alayhim, what they used to do in their prayers, out of their, due to their love that they have for Allah Azza wa Jal, they were people who were frequently, they were used to say in their prayers, they would say, salam upon Allah. They would even send salams to Allah, right? They would say from his servants, salam upon Jibreel, to the angel. And they would say salam upon so-and-so and such and such and such and such. The Prophet ﷺ prohibited them from saying this, and he told them to say rather, he says he prohibited them and he said to them, Inna Allah huwa salam. You don't have to send salams to Allah because Allah is as-salam. He's the one who gives the peace and gives the security. يعني السلام من كل عيب, meaning Allah is free and protected from every defect or deficiency. فلا حاجة أن تثني عليه بالدعاء. So there's no need for you to praise him with this type of dua of giving him the salams. Why? Because he's protected from all of that. بأن يسلم نفسه, because he himself is already protected. He himself is already protected from every defect any possible illness or blemish or flaw, etc. ثُمَّ قَالَ لَهُمْ, then he said to them, the Prophet ﷺ instructed them, he just didn't prohibit them. And this is something that we can learn as husbands, we can learn as parents, we can learn as brothers, and we can learn as sisters. It's very imperative when you commanding or when you advising that your advice, first of all, advice is from love. But when you give advice, it should be a method in a way that it should be given so that the heart, because as Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, he said the heart are receptacles, so that the heart can accept it. You understand? So the way that you give it, you don't just give a prohibition and leave a prohibition here. You don't just tell a children or a child, don't do this, or tell your wife, don't do that, or tell your your husband, don't do this, or so forth. You don't just do that and leave it blanket. Here the Prophet ﷺ, he prohibited them, then he gave them the reason why he prohibited them, so that he can instruct them. And then on top of that, he told them how to correct it by giving them something that's a substitute for them to do. Do you understand that? This is beautiful here. He says next, he says, As-salamu alayna wa ala ibadillah. Say as-salam. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to put salam upon us. Wa ala ibadillah. Which also show you what? When you offer dua, you should offer dua for yourself. A lot of people don't know that. We run around telling people, make dua for me, make dua for me. No, you should make dua for yourself. And you start by making dua for yourself, then making dua for someone else. Okay? That's even over your wife, that's even over your children. You make dua for yourself. Do you understand? As-salamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin. Make salam upon us and salam upon what? Upon your righteous servants. فَإِنَّكُمْ إِذَا قُلْتُمْ ذَلِكَ سَلَمْتُ عَلَى كُلِّ عَبْدٍ صَالِحٍ فِي السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Look at this. Look how he substituted with something that is way better. Right? Before they were saying salam upon Allah, so you know you can't say that about Allah. Then they were saying salam upon Jibril and salam upon this and that. He gave them a most simple, easy method for them to do. He says what? When you say that, he said, for indeed, rather when you say that, then salamtum, you will have extended the salams upon every righteous servant in the heavens and in the earth. You will have included the angels as well as what? The people on the earth. So this is the Prophet ﷺ teaching us. This hadith is actually collected by Bukhari in the book of Jumu'ah. وَلَا أَدْرِي هَلْ نَحْنُ نَسْتَحْضَرُ هَذَا إِذَا كُنَّا فِي الصَّلَاةِ. He said, I do not know هَلْ نَحْنُ نَسْتَحْضَرُ هَذَا, that this is something that is present with us when we say in our salat, As-salamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin. La adri hal nahnu nastahdar annana nasallimu ala anfusina. As-salamu alayna wa ala kulli abdin salihin fi as-sama'i wal ard. يعني نسلم على الأنبياء، نسلم على الصحابة، نسلم على التابعين لهم بإحسان، نسلم على أصحاب الأنبياء كالحواريين أصحاب عيسى والذين اختارهم موسى عليه الصلاة والسلام 70 رجلا وغير ذلك. هل نحن نستحضر أننا نسلم على جبريل وعلى ميكائيل وعلى إسرافيل وعلى مالك خازن النار وعلى خازن الجنة الملائكة؟ لا أدري هل نحن نستحضر هذا أم لا. إن كنا نستحضر فيجب أن نستحضر ذلك. What he's saying basically in all of this, just to sum it up for you, he said he don't know if this thought of what he just explained from the hadith is actually present with us when we are in our prayers. Do we know that we are actually sending this salam upon every righteous servant, and that include every angel, and that includes every companions of every prophet, and that includes like the Hawariyeen, that include every the companions of the prophets, that include the prophets, that include the righteous, includes the righteous people. Do we not know this? Do we not bring this to mind? And he said if we don't notice, then this is something that we should bring to mind. That when we say this, we don't have to specify someone particularly, but because we are already including them when the Prophet ﷺ says, As-salamu alayna wa ala ibadihi salihin. And just saying that, you already including everyone and making the salams in the prayer. This is also make me think of something. This is actually beautiful here. Would you know it makes me think that the prayer is so complete? How many of us ever really did tadabbur or reflected on how the prayer is done? I'm not even just talking about the movements. That's another bab. Ibn Qayyim got a beautiful book. It's in English, and by the way, you can look at it online. It's the essence of the prayer. And the way that he approached it from a spiritual onlook of the prayer, all right? And if you look at the prayer in detail, look how everything just is covered. Look at just that dua. Most of us don't even know what we're saying in the prayer, why we're saying in the prayer, and we become lackadaisical in the prayer and don't know what we're doing. Huh? You're making dua for everyone in your prayer. Mandatory. This is in the what? The tashahhud. That's what this is called, the tashahhud. When you make the tashahhud, which can be said multiple different ways, you are extending the Islamic greetings for everybody. For everybody. وَالسَّلَامُ مَشْرُوعًا بَيْنَ مُسْلِمِينَ. He says next, he said, لِأَنَّ الرَّسُولَ صلى الله عليه وسلم قال, And we already said that because you already we mentioned that earlier. But he says, فَالسَّلَامُ مَشْرُوعٌ بَيْنَ مُسْلِمِينَ مَأْمُورٌ بِإِفْشَائِهِ. Okay? And he says that the Islamic greetings has been legislated between or amongst the Muslims, meaning that they should to extend the Islamic greetings amongst themselves. He says it has been commanded to spread it. He says, قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لا تدخلون الجنة حتى تؤمنوا ولا تؤمنوا حتى تحبوا أو لا أدلكم. He says أو لا أدلكم على شيء إذا فعلتموه تحببتم أفشلوا السلام بينكم. I love this actual hadith actually. This hadith is collected by Muslim in his book of Iman. It's a beautiful hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said, none of you will enter paradise until you believe. Alright? So number one, you have to have Iman. No one can enter paradise without Iman. That's clear. He says, وَلَا تُؤْمِنُوا حَتَّى تُحَبُّوا. And none of you will truly believe until you love one another. What hadith comes to mind? The hadith of Anas ibn Malik, Khadim al-Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the servant of the Rasulullah, when he says, the Prophet ﷺ said, لَا يُؤْمِنُوا أَحَدَكُمْ حَتَّى يُحِبَّ لِيَخِيهِ مَنْ يُحِبَّ لِنَفْسِهِ. What did he say? He says that none of you truly believe, or none of you have Iman that is complete until you love for your brother what you love for yourself. No? So here the Prophet ﷺ said, what? None of you will believe until you love one another. What is this hadith telling us? Zahir. Apparently, what is this hadith is saying? It's saying that it's obligatory that the believers love one another. The believers must love one another. Allah says in the Quran, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةً, that the believers are only brothers. So you tell me why Fulan and Alan doesn't like one another, or doesn't love one another. What's going on here? There got to be some deficiency in the understanding, some deficiency in the Iman. It's something near that is preventing them from understanding that it is obligatory and compulsory to have love for one another. But look how he set the hadith up. The most desired thing that each one of us want to get to is the place of paradise, right? Every one of us want to get to Jannah to be safe, correct? So we want all of the accolades, all of the things that's in Jannah. But he's saying that you will not enter it until you do what? Till you believe. So you have to have Iman as a prerequisite to get in. And that you will not even believe until you love one another. And then he gives you something showing you how loving one another, what is it that you can do to bring about that love for one another? That's what he brings. He says, should I not show you something that if you do it, it will cause you to love one another? He says, should I not direct you to something that if you do it, it's going to bring about love for you, for one another? Afshalu salamu bainakum. Extend the Islamic greetings amongst yourselves. So now it just took a whole nother stance. The Islam is not just, the salams, the salutation is just not a dua, which that's tremendous in and of itself. It's not just offering dua that Allah protects the person from everything, every harm. That's one thing. But it took to another level. It brings about love. Like giving gifts brings about love. But giving the salams brings about love. You love that person. You never met this brother in your life. You never met that sister in your life. But every time you see that brother or sister, they got a wild, beautiful smile, and they always giving you the salams. It don't matter if they, if they off the rocker, they do this, they do that. It don't matter, whatever. But every time you see that person, it's Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. It makes you feel happy. What's that? It brings about that love. That's going to actually bring there. He says, يعني أظهروه وأعلانه. Meaning, in other words, make it known, make it apparent, the salams, amongst yourselves, and announce it. He said, وصدق الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم فإن إفشاء السلام بين الناس من أسباب المحبة ولذلك إذا لقاك رجل ولم يسلم عليك كرهته وإذا سلم عليك أحببته ولم يكن بينك وبينه معرفة ولهذا كان من حسن الإسلام أن تفشي السلام على من عرفت أو أن تقرأ السلام على من عرفت ومن لم تعرف. All right, and we're going to end it today with this. Inshallah ta'ala, if Allah allow us, we'll be able to reconvene and finish the book of salutations, inshallah. But he says here, Shaykh Uthaymeen pretty much mentioned, he says that indeed the spreading of the salutation amongst the people, amongst themselves, is from the means of bringing about love. And he said for that reason, when a person meets you, and that person does not extend the greetings to you, how do you feel? You dislike that person, right? You ever been somewhere and then a Muslim comes up and the Muslim doesn't greet you at all? You feel some type of way, like what's up? Right? You feel it. It's something you feel in your heart. He said likewise when Salamu alayka ahbabtu, when the person gives you the salams, right? the person give you the salams, it comes in. That's a whole nother bab in terms of, before we get it, I want to jump the gun, but in the bab of salams, we will get into all of that about the 3 days extension. And nobody really wants to get to that. And a lot of people should not even want to get to the extending and I hear brothers and sisters say that a lot. I'm going to give you 3 days. This is not a game. I'm not going to give my brother or my sister 3 days. This is only in the circumstances that if your human emotion, because you're human, someone have done something to you and there is anger, animosity between you two, then that time or that moment should allow you to actually behave and to cool off. You understand? And also keep you glued to realize that the brotherhood in Iman is stronger than that of the dunya. And that you should forgive your brother and your sister. That's why the hadith goes on to say that the best one is the one who initiates the salams first in those 3 days. Not a person, I'm going to give you 3 days. That's what we do. Like, we just play with stuff. Like, I'm going to give you 3 days. No, I'm not going to give you 3 days. I don't want to give you 3 days. Why would I want to give you 3 days? But if we are at that point of animosity between ourselves, then this 3 days is given as a concession so that we can reconvene and understand that this is our brother and this is our sister and so forth, so we can do that. So we need to understand those in their proper context. We'll go into that when we cover that, inshallah. He says, so when they give you the salams, he said, even if you don't know this person, this is how you're going to feel. If you don't know the person gives you the salams, you're going to feel welcoming in love towards that person. Even if you don't know the person, if you don't know the person and the person doesn't give you salams, you're going to feel some animosity. He said, "We had the kana min husn Islam." He said, for this reason, from the goodness of Islam or the perfection of Islam is that you spread the salutations, that you extend the Islamic greetings, ala man arafta, upon the one whom you know, or that you read the salam upon the one whom you know and the one whom you do not know. I don't know so-and-so, I'm still going to give them salams. It's some people, alhamdulillah, unfortunately, and we live in the West, and let's be real, a lot of the foreigners, they come over here and they think they're going to hide their Muslim identity. That's, Allah Jalla wa Ala, Sheikh Salih Fawzan, he brought a beautiful point. They asked him the question about the virus that's going around now. They call it the plague, and they say, okay, if people want to make, some people don't want to make Umrah, they want to make Hajj because they don't want to travel because they don't want to run into this plague or this affection or this disease. He says this darf, this is weakness in one iman and his weakness in one tawakkuh of Allah, because Allah is the one, as Allah says in the Quran, وَمَا كَانَ لِنَفْسٍ أَن تَمُوتْ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ كِتَابًا مُؤَجَّلًا, that there's no soul that can die except that Allah Jalla wa Ala had to grant his permission to do so. Alright, so it just, the Shaykh is saying you're weak in your tawakkul in Allah, your reliance on Allah, because if you're going to get the disease, whether you're in the house, whether you're wherever you're at, you're going to get it because Allah decreed that you're going to get it. If you're not going to get it, you're not going to get it, no matter if you're around 100 people that got it. You understand? So that's how strong our iman should be. And the reason why I brought that up is because we have people here who try to hide their Islamic identity as opposed to giving you the salams. You walk into their shops, they don't want to give you the salams. You see them and so forth, they don't want to extend the salams to you. They don't want to give you the salam. You say salam alaikum, they're looking at you like you're crazy, as if you said something foreign to them, as if they're not Muslim, as you want to hide your identity. First of all, hiding your identity doesn't bring you about nothing. This is why it's harmful to try to fit in and hide your identity. That's my advice to any of the brothers and sisters that might be foreigners that come to the West here, inshallah ta'ala. Don't hide your identity. Allah Azza wa Jalla is your Lord, whether you're in the East or you're in the West. And you still have to obey him whether you're in the East and the West, because the Prophet said what? فَتَقَى hate to makun, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wheresoever you may be. Allah even said, فَتَقَى mastata'tum, fear Allah as much as you are able to do. So if this is the case, you're still commanded to fear Allah Azza wa Jalla. Don't try to hide your salams. Likewise, brothers and sisters, don't try to use your culture or your customary greetings to override this beautiful dua. I'm going to run around saying something to you that doesn't even make sense. What's up? You know what I'm saying? Give me that. All of that stuff, like, for what, man? That's not going to give over salams. I see a Muslim, I'd rather say that to them over salams. You have a person call your phone, you know he's Muslim, he knows you Muslim, she knows you Muslim, you know her Muslim, but they don't start with the Islamic greetings. They will say with something, yeah, what's going on with you? Good morning. Actually, they would say happy Friday or happy Tuesday or happy Monday, like just following anybody saying anything. So they'll say all of these things to you before they even say the Islamic greetings, which is a dua, which brings about love, all of these different things. So they don't understand what this stuff means, man. They don't understand nothing what it means. And the closest, and I'm going to leave us with this, The closer we get to the hour, the more ignorant the people are going to be of the deen. Do you understand that? The closer we get to the hour, the more ignorant of the people they deen. You might say, brother, okay, you were saying earlier that this deen is upon evidence, that we move upon knowledge. You made a statement. Now, can you prove that? The hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned. He says from the sign of the hour, okay? He said it's going to be what? He mentioned that it's going to be raful ilm. Knowledge is going to be removed. He says it's going to be kathratul jahl, abundance of ignorance. Okay, this hadith comes in Bukhari in the book of Fitan. And he says it's going to be kathratul harj, senseless killing. Do you understand? People don't know why they're killing someone. The person who's being killed don't know why they're being killed. The one who's doing the killing don't know why he's doing the killing. It's going to happen just like this. The closer we are to that hour, the more ignorant the people are going to be. Sheikh Falah Ismail al-Mundakar, he mentioned how the people are going to follow the Dajjal. He said because they're going to lose their senses. It's not going to be intelligent people following the Dajjal. It's going to be people going to be senseless mad because they are losing their what's the name. And don't think because a person is highly functional, they're going to work, they have a degree, they're here, they're there, that doesn't mean they have intelligence. A lot of us always equate intelligence to that. No. Intelligence is doing that which is beneficial versus that which is harmful. And beneficial starting with yourself and your soul over that which is not beneficial for yourself and your soul. That's how we determine what his intelligence is. We don't determine it is because I can solve a math problem or I can go to here and I got a PhD or so forth like that. That's not how we solve our problems with intelligence. So I wanted to just mention that because a lot of us, we have to really get back to saying the Islamic greetings. Get back to that greeting, man. Say that Islamic greeting to your brother. Say it to your sister. Say the Islamic greetings. And educate your family. If they don't know what the Islamic greetings mean, you learn what it is, you go back and pass it on, and you explain to them, listen, we're making dua to Allah. He says, salam. And I'm asking that Allah protect you from everything. This is why I'm giving you that greeting, because this is that which is going to bring love between you and I. By me spreading the greetings, inshallah ta'ala. Whatever we said that was incorrect in our translations, definitely from ourselves and the shaitan. Whatever we said is correct is from Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, bihamdi. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakallahu khairan.